crafty people, welcome to Woolly Wednesday. My name is Jessie and this is Mislaid Pages. For the new folks, this particular video is where I talk about my knitting stuff, both projects that I'm working on and plan to work on, as well as purchases that I've made, patterns that I found, dyers and designers and things that I have come across that I would like to share. So that's what this video is about. My channel overall is crafty stuff, whatever crafty stuff that I get into, as well as some behind the scenes stuff with my business, Mislaid Pages, and all that kind of stuff. So welcome if you're new, welcome back if you're returning. Happy to see you all. I'm actually filming this earlier than usual, so it's Tuesday morning when I'm filming this. The main reason for that is, one, I didn't want to delay any longer in getting a video up, and two, I am actually getting my first dose of my COVID vaccine tomorrow morning, so I won't be able to film a video at the normal time because I'll be in line trying to get my vaccine. So yeah, so that's tomorrow. But also it's been a minute since I posted a video. Last week I was very busy with Needlework Expo, getting all of those orders in, sorting them out, getting orders picked for folks that had made pre-orders, getting them packaged and shipped. So that was pretty much my life last week. Outside of my regular day job, I was doing all of that stuff. So I didn't have time for Woolly Wednesday or flosstube Friday like I usually do, and I'm sorry I couldn't communicate that any better on the channel itself, since I don't have enough subscribers to have a community page down there where I can just send you all messages. I've been mostly sending those messages on Patreon. So if you're not a member of my Patreon, you can certainly check that out. I will send public messages for everybody, not just subscribers, if I can't post for some reason, especially if it's going to be an extended amount of time. I'll try to put some communication there just to make it easily accessible. And again, those are going to be public posts, so you don't have to actually pay into Patreon to get just basic information. So it's worth checking out Patreon. Checking me out on Patreon just for that if you want to stay updated. But you can also contribute at any level to get special exclusive benefits, of which there will be more coming. So I'll talk more about that on flosstube on Friday because I still have to gel the ideas and all this sort of stuff. But I have some new fun exclusive stuff that's going to be coming just for Patreon subscribers. So just FYI. So that was last week. Last week was Expo, and it feels like there was nothing else except packing and packing and packing. I did do a little bit of knitting between last time I posted a video and today. I've done a fair bit of knitting, but only on two different pieces. So I only have two whips for you, and I'm currently there's a cat here. Blech. Life with cats, y'all. Anyway, so I have two whips to share with you. I don't have any new starts yet, but there's a couple of new projects that I'm really thinking hard about. I have to decide what yarn I want to use on them, so I'll probably spend some time this week trying to figure out what it is that I want to cast on next, because I am starting to feel the itch to cast something on. So there's that, but I don't have any purchases to show you this week. We're in that space between where I have several things ordered and nothing has arrived. So and part of that is I have 3 different boxes coming from Lady Dye Yarns, or 3 different clubs, I should say, coming from Lady Dye Yarns. The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air Mystery Knit-Along Club has been significantly delayed. I think they're supposed to be shipping those out this week. That was the last update I saw. There's also the Gilmore Girls box, which should be shipping by the end of March, I think. And the Women of Black Panther, which I thought was supposed to ship at the end of February, but I haven't checked the dates on that. They're having, excuse me, sorry. Lady Dye Yarns is having some pretty significant issues with their sourcing, getting the things that that they're purchasing from other vendors to put in the boxes, and it's causing lots of delays, and those things just kind of cascade. So that's kind of what's happening with that. I purchased a couple of skeins of yarn completely separate from the clubs from Lady Dye Yarns, and that's going to be coming soon. And I will say, one of the things that I've decided that I'm going to do with some of my stimulus money is I'm going to work on supporting some BIPOC dyers, as well as Asian American and Pacific Island dyers. I have a couple of folks in mind that I have been watching for a while I want to try out. So there's a number of dyers that I'm going to be purchasing from over the next few weeks. just to kind of, spread the wealth. So since I'm getting a bit of economic stimulus and I still have my full-time job, I'm going to use some of my money to help support small businesses. That's just one of the things that I have decided to do. Obviously, I'm using other money for other things, but I want to spend some of my money supporting small businesses that have maybe been having a hard time. Unfortunately, one of the businesses I want to support, one of my favorite businesses here locally, has had to close for a little bit. The bakery that I love down the street, they unfortunately had somebody turn up positive for COVID, so they've had to close until they can get that resolved, which is unfortunate. So I'm thinking about contacting them and buying some gift cards, so that they will still get some income during this time that they're closed. Because I know it's difficult for a small business when your entire business is based on being able to feed people and you can't feed people. It's really difficult. So, but yeah. So that's one of the things that I'm planning on doing with my stimulus money because I'm in a position where I can do that. Not everybody is that fortunate, and I understand. And I'm not, everybody needs to do what they need to do with that money. But because I can, I have the ability to. I'm in a very fortunate place. I'm going to try to spread that around more. So anyway, but yeah, I don't have a ton of stuff to show you, so it's probably going to be a short one unless I just sit here and gab at you like I usually do. I know Cal probably appreciates when I just sit here and talk randomly. I am going to do some more whip and chat soon. I just have to sit down. I have to be able to sit down and do them and then have something to talk about, which I can never think of anything to talk about until I sit down in front of the camera. And then, it's just like endless. So, anyway, on Wednesday, when you're watching this, I hope it's a great Wednesday. I hope you're having a good week so far. The week's been it's been, I don't know, it's just been a week, I guess. I've been kind of tired this week. I guess I'm recovering from last week because I had so much to do. I didn't really think about how much energy I was expending, and I think my body is just kind of like, you need a break now. So I'm trying to listen to that and not work too hard this week. Though now that all the packages are shipped, I'm trying to get listings done for the remainder of the patterns that I purchased from the pre-orders, as well as a bunch of new patterns that I purchased that I haven't shown on the channel yet, and new products, and there's all kinds of stuff. So I'm trying to calm my brain, understand that it will all get done at some point and not rush. But yeah, so that's what this week is this week is just trying to calm down, get stuff done as I can get it done, not push myself, especially because I don't know how I'm going to react to the vaccine tomorrow. I've actually taken the entire day off of my day job, as well as taking the day off from filming and all that sort of stuff, because while I've heard that the first shot is generally not the one you have to be concerned about as far as reactions and stuff like that, I'm just playing it safe. I'm going to take the entire day off when I go back for the second vaccine as well, because I have heard, especially from women who've gotten the shot, that if you're going to have reaction, it's the second dose, and it's more severe for women than it is for men when somebody has a reaction. So I'm just going to play it safe. Definitely getting the vaccine, but I'm going to take the time I need to make sure that if I don't feel well, I can just not feel well. So anyway, let's get into it. So my first whip, we are back to the temperature shawl, my 2021 temperature shawl, which is very nearly too large for the camera now. And this is not even up to date. So I'm actually only to I've stitched through the 14th of March. So we're close to up to date, but we're still about a week behind. So yeah, and we're getting ready to go back into the blues and the greens and stuff like that, because we had this week of like 70s. So that's what these orange and yellow are. So it was really warm that week, and now it's gotten chillier again, but it's more like spring chilly, so it's still like 50s stuff. So I think there's one day where it got down low enough to be in the purple, but for the most part, it's going to be blue and green and back to yellow. So won't be long before we're staying in the yellow and the orange and getting into the pinks. So we'll see how that goes. So that's what that looks like right now. I'll probably knit on this some more today. I haven't been taking pictures of it every day like I did the first 2 months, or at least nearly every day. So I don't know if I'll have one of those nifty TikTok videos at the end of March like I did for January and February. It's mostly because it's getting so big, I can't just sit with it in my lap and take a decent picture. So because I don't want to get up and lay it out and take a picture every time I do a row because I haven't been keeping up with it. I haven't been taking the picture. So if I get caught up and I start actually stitching the day, each day, then maybe I'll start taking pictures again. We'll see. The other thing I've worked on is my slow CAD. Let me let me back up a second. So for anybody who's not familiar, this is not this is a pattern from Karen. So this is just a generic pattern, no particular designer, and I'm using, I think it's a Loops and Threads brand yarn. The name escapes me right now, but you can buy this at Michael's, this yarn. And I know I've mentioned it before, but I don't have the skein right here to hand. But it is a Loops and Threads brand. It's like Splendidly something or other, Splendiferous something. But it's a worsted weight yarn. So it's nothing super fancy. You can totally buy it at Michael's. At some point, I should probably put in the link haven all the specific colors that I use, just in case you're interested in any of those. I'll add that to my endless to-do list. So, so this is SlowCAD, which is also big enough to not be able to fit on the camera. So SlowCAD is Secret Life of Cats and Dogs. This is a pattern from Casapinka, designed for a 24 or 25 day Advent set of yarn. Or I shouldn't say Advent, but a 24 or 25 mini skein set is what this is designed for. You can also knit it with just 4 colors. It's written so that you can use just 4 colors as well. I am using an Advent set from Ruby and Roses, a Christmas Advent set from Ruby and Roses. So here is the bottom. We got a little bit of marling there, just trying to show you the different layers because it wants to curl in on itself. I am not one of those folks that tries to block things as I'm working on it because I haven't ever blocked anything to start with. So I'm not confident. I don't want to ruin something when I'm halfway through it. So I got some more sections. So you can tell based on the marker here. So this is where it was last time I showed you. So I just started this pinky section, and you can see I've finished 3 more sections. Now I will say I went a little cheaty McCheat face. I'm trying to get it so it'll be straight. Okay, so I went a little cheaty McCheat face on this very top section because you're actually supposed to do a 4th repeat with another one of these marled rows, but I decided, because it's my stuff and I can do what I want to. I'm trying to get it to focus. Okay. I decided because it's my stuff and I can do what I want to. I like this color a lot, and I want to put this in my I want to put this in my scrappy inauguration celebration shawl. So, and it was running very, very short, and I was afraid that if I did another repeat, I'd have almost no yarn left to put in inauguration celebration. So I decided that this was enough repeats for me. And honestly, it's not going to make a huge difference. So you can tell here based on the distance, if I can, okay, I can't get my hands. Oh my gosh, I am so directionally challenged. It's not, okay, sort of, okay. I can't figure out which hand is which. Okay, there we go. I'm struggling this morning, y'all. Okay, so you can tell, yes, this is where you can tell based on the distance here that one more repeat would have only added maybe like an inch or so of additional stitching. So, and this is not the kind of piece that needs to be a particular length because this is just a shawl. It's just going to be a nice big rectangular shawl. It doesn't need to be, 22 inches as opposed to 21 inches. It's not going to make a big deal. So I made that decision because I thought this would actually go really nicely against the yarn that I am currently using in my inauguration celebration. So I wanted to save that, especially just in case it needs to be used again later in a later section. I'm thinking because you use so much in this section that it's probably not going to be called again, but on the off chance. So, and this section, this light blue section, it's supposed to look really pretty. And it actually, once I'm holding it up like this and it has some stretch to it, you can kind of see the ripple. but it's not as nice looking as I feel like it should be. And I'm hoping that'll come out in blocking. I'm hoping that when I block it, when it's all finished, you'll actually be able to see that a little bit better. But I don't know if, like, I almost feel like I should have gone down a needle size for that section because it's just so loose that you don't really get to see the shape. And it's supposed to be a nice ripple wave kind of situation, and it's just not real, it's not real obvious. So I'm a little bit disappointed in that part. But, and it might also be the specific yarn that I use there. I mean, that's a pretty, it's a pretty speckledy type of yarn, and it might have done better had I had something more tonal. Regardless, this is where we are. So this is section 11. I believe this is section 11 that I just finished yesterday. So I'll be moving on to section 12. That means I have to wind more yarn. I just wound 2 balls of yarn to do this part. Because this, and I didn't realize it, but this, okay, y'all, I can't with this. Okay, struggling so hard. Okay, so the marling here, I didn't realize. So I had to wind the whole ball. Let me not use my middle finger. I had to wind the whole ball just for 2 rows. This is actually literally 40 stitches of each here. So this is color 20 and this is color 18. So I had to wind up the whole ball. I mean, I was going to need it later anyway, but I had to wind up the whole ball for 40 stitches for each of these colors. And I was like, really? Was that really necessary that we use colors we hadn't used yet for those two? So I was a little salty about that, but anyway. So I have a bunch of skeins that I still have to roll up, probably like 10 skeins that I haven't used yet. So I'll be moving on to section 12 when I get back to this, and then yeah, section 12 is a pattern section, so there won't be any marling. It'll just be the one color, doing like a lace kind of thing. My camera keeps going in and out. Okay. Okay. The light is not great today. It is a cloudy, gloomy day, and I think it's going to be like that all day today. So, anyway, so there we go. That is my secret life of cats and dogs as it stands now, and you can tell this is going to be a long mamma jamma. So, like I said, this is section 11, and I believe there are 24 sections total. So I'm not quite halfway there. It's gonna be a nice big shawl, but I think that's gonna be so comfy when it's finished because this is nice soft yarn, and I'm curious to see how the blocking is gonna help with different sections. So we'll see how that goes. So that's all the whips. I still have my I have to be brave at some point and block out my changing staircases. I know a lot of you are really anxious to see changing staircases once it's fully blocked. I did watch a video from Expression Fiber Arts showing how to dry block a piece, and I think I'm going to use that method, which is funny because dry blocking is actually kind of a misnomer. You don't actually block it completely dry, but you pin your piece out and then you lightly spray it with water so that it gets damp but not soaking wet. So it's dry blocking because you're not soaking your piece and then laying it out sopping wet. You're actually just spraying the water on while it's dry and then letting it dry and shape itself. And you can do it with steam instead of spritzed water if you want to. I'm not going to try steam because if you get too close to your piece with the iron, you can ruin it. You can destroy it. So I'm going to try to do the safest thing and just get a bottle of probably like distilled water or something like that. Block the piece out, pin it out into the right shape, and then lightly spray it and see how that goes, because that feels the most comfortable for me, because I feel like has the least potential for me to completely ruin a piece that I've spent so much time on. So once I get that done and have some results, I will definitely show that to you. I don't know that I'm going to try to film myself doing it. I'm still having trouble getting the camera angles right for some different things that I'm trying to do. So I'm probably not going to try to film myself doing it, but I will certainly show it to you once it's finished. So I'll hopefully be doing that soon. But I have to suck up my courage and be a brave little toaster and get that done. So As far as future plans, like I said, there's a couple of charts that I've seen, not charts, there's a couple of patterns I've seen very recently. One from Expression Fiber Arts that I think would be really cool. And what was the other one? Oh, a friend shared a pattern called Lichen, and I can't remember who the designer is for that, but it's a piece that's somewhat similar but different to Changing Staircases. It has a similar sort of like spiral curve and feel, but it's more ruffly around the edges. So that's something that I'm playing around with. And there was also there's several pieces I'm thinking about. I'm also thinking about looking at some One Skein Wonders so that I can, because I have all these fantastic yarns here, but most of them are not, they don't necessarily play well with others because they're so multicolored and multifaceted and stuff like that. So, yeah, but I'm looking to probably cast something new on fairly soon. We'll see. We'll see. So. Well, I think that's it for me for now. I will be back on Friday with a floss tube. I have lots of stuff to show you on floss tube. I will also be back. I may not be able to do it all in floss tube, so if I can't show it all in floss tube, I will have an additional video where I show you all the new fantastic stuff that I got from Expo that I have not previously shown, because I have a lot of charts and some other stuff to share with you that I purchased at Expo that I have not shown you yet. So I'm excited to show you all that stuff. So that's coming soon too. I'm not going to give you dates because I'm not good at keeping up with dates. I have a lot of stuff going on, so I will try to keep you up to date as far as my process and progress and all that sort of stuff, but I'm not going to tell you it's going to be on X date. But hopefully, new stuff coming. Definitely new stuff coming at some point. I am starting to get listings up on Etsy for the leftover charts from the pre-order stuff, because I ordered extra just to make sure I didn't miss anybody. But yeah, so I have some additional charts left over from everything that I had available for pre-orders. Those are going up over the next couple of days. I will also hopefully be getting those listings set up for all the brand new charts that you haven't seen yet from me. So all that stuff is coming. And yeah, so yeah. So I hope you're having a good week so far. I will see you on Friday. I don't anticipate any issues with that, but if there are, I will update on Patreon just to let you all know. So in the meantime, make sure that you stay hydrated, drink coffee and water, take all your meds, including your vitamins, and remember that good enough is good enough. And I'll see you again next time. Have a great one.